Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Joe and I are going to wait just one more minute. We'll start right about 12:04. Joe, can you see my screen okay?
I sure can. It looks beautiful.
Wonderful. For those of you that just joined, we're going to get started in just about 1 second. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll just I'll say this probably a couple times, but if you have questions as we're talking, please use that Q&A function in your Zoom, and we will be monitoring that and trying to answer questions live as we go. And also, as a disclaimer, and I say this every time too, we love questions, so send them our way. We're happy to chat about anything on your mind. I should say house related. Okay, Joe, you ready? Ready. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have an exciting house to show. I'm Katie Smith. I am a homeownership counselor out of Adair's Crestwell, Oregon office, and I'm excited to have my returning co-host, Joe. Joe, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, good afternoon. It is 12:04. So excited to be able to do this video today on this Arcadia plan. So super excited to be partnering with my best friend over in the Crestwell branch that we love doing these videos to really just bring some light, help you understand the process. We're going to go over a lot of different things today. So get your notepad out and be ready to walk on through this home.
All right, so we are showing, as Joe said, the 1485 Arcadia West plan. So this is 1,485 square feet. I'm going to do something just a tiny bit different. So the plan today, we're going to talk about the outside of the house. We're going to talk about the standard inside of the house. We're going to talk about changes this customer made. And then as we watch the video, we always talk about changes that are possible, because I think a lot of times people are just totally unaware of the amount of customizations that you can do with an Adair plan. But before I jump into that, I want to lead with just budget breakdown, building a budget talk in general. And then I think it'll come back up at the end of our show. So a lot of times people will call like, hey, we don't know what our budget is. We don't know when we should come talk to someone. We don't know how to find these things out. Because if you haven't built before, it's kind of a daunting task from the outside looking in. So I want to just give a tiny breakdown and say there's essentially 3 costs that come into a build. There's the cost of the land, there's the cost of your site prep, and there's the cost of the house. So it is never too early to go talk to a homeownership counselor, because they can give you at a minimum 2 of the 3 costs. And obviously site prep, we'll get into site prep. Site prep is going to be an estimated cost up front, but it will help you determine, okay, knowing these numbers, knowing what I'm looking for in the house, here's what I should go look for in property. So this has been a frequently asked question lately, like, when should I come talk to someone? Is it too early to come talk to someone? And the answer is no, because we're going to give you a pathway on how to proceed. Okay. Anything to add to that, Joe? I know this is kind of out of our normal.
No, that's great. I mean, I think there's so many components that go into building that there's no question that's a bad question. So we do this day in and day out. We build budgets, we build plans, we submit customizations, modifications to homes. We do site development budgets that are associated with all aspects of site work. And we'll get into what exactly site development is later in this virtual tour today. But also like financing, I was talking to a client yesterday, and they're like, oh, I'm going to pay cash for the property. And what do I do, like, as far as financing? And so we'll talk about financing and how you can use the equity in the land that you just purchased as your down payment. so you don't have to bring money to the table. So there's a lot of great things that we're going to be able to share with you today. And we also deal with the clients that are like, hey, listen, like I've got the 5% down, but I don't have anything more than that, but I need to bundle my land, home, and site development into one loan. Can I do that? Right. So we're going to be able to cover those great things. And right before we go to the video, because this has been a question that we've been asked as well, is our square footage of our homes is just the house, not the actual garage square footage. So keep that in mind. The home that we're going over, I believe we're going over the 1485 today. So it also has 20 by 20 garage, so that's some additional square footage there that's not included in the 1485. So
perfect. Okay, so now we'll kind of jump into our standard order of things, but just some thoughts to get your mind working. So if you think of questions as we go, like I said, kick them our way. Joe's going to be monitoring that Q&A function, and we'll just pause, periodically to see, make sure we're up to date on questions, and then we'll kind of play the video through. So without further ado, this is our Arcadia West plan. And this is, I would say, most commonly referred to as our smallest 4-bedroom plan. And if you're thinking to yourself, how can there be 4 bedrooms and 1,485 square feet? Here is a look at the pre-engineered version of this plan. So you come in front door here with this little covered area, of course. Bedroom 4 kind of off by itself up here. You have this massive common space, great room, dining, kitchen, and then just stacked are the other 3 bedrooms. So your primary suite with walk-in closet, the 2 bedrooms in their bathroom, and then a pass-through mudroom utility room to get to the garage. So just a really efficient plan, a really efficient use of space, because it's under 1,500 square feet with 4 bedrooms, but you can see none of the rooms are small. These are all good-sized bedrooms. The plan that we're looking at today, these customers did our signature elevation. And Joe, I always like when you talk about things that can be done on our website, but I'll show you first. So things to know about the website. You'll see all of our pre-engineered plans and all of the exterior elevation options for each of them. And then you'll also see up-to-date pricing for your area. So when you look online, you're like, but is this accurate? This is accurate. So this is current pricing for a base model, so classic traditions and signature elevation for this 1485 plan. Joe, last time you added a handful of fun facts about our website. Do you want to do that again? I thought that was useful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so obviously right in the bottom right-hand corner, there's that little box that's yellow with a box inside, and that's our chat function. So we've got some phenomenal people that are there to answer questions that you may have. They answer a lot of general questions, understand your build zone, the area that you're looking to build, and kind of a lot of the surface questions. Then the goal there is they're going to schedule an appointment for somebody like myself or Katie to where we can actually answer some additional questions for you, help you understand the process, whether it's a virtual appointment that works best for you if you're not in the specific area that you're planning on building in, or we'd love to meet people face to face as well so we can walk you through the showroom. So all of our branches are equipped with showrooms, which I absolutely love. So you can literally walk through our showroom. We're able to show you the base standard finishes, upgraded finishes, options, get you pricing, help you understand, and really give you the full aspect of the cost associated with that. So I really enjoy that. I like the events tab because obviously you can keep an eye on events that are coming up. So when we do virtual appointments, when we do our Builder 101s, which is a great opportunity to talk about, our build process, a lot of what we go over on our calls here, but you can see a couple different house plans coming up. So if you wanted to join any of those are great opportunities to see that. But also I love the breakdown of like our home planning guide, the our plans. I love like how we break it down so simple, but also like building timeline for that area, financing options, site services. And then typically most of our customers end with a 20 to 25% build equity in the home. So, I mean, it also talks about home design, right? So you see how Katie had shown the pre-engineered set of plans, right, for the Arcadia so far, right? So hey, if I wanted to add a slider out the left elevation where the dining and great room is, I can add a slider in the center of there and do a vault that goes out the side there. I can extend that patio cover to the edge of the primary suite. Just simple things like that are people like, oh gosh, is that going to break a bank? Great news is you have people like Katie and myself that we can get the pricing for that. And maybe you're like, hey, that primary suite's a little too small for me. Sweet. We can extend that rear elevation out 3 feet, 5 feet, whatever you need. So utilize us as a resource to help and support you, help you understand the process. Don't be stuck by just what you see as far as our plans. I just got an email from a client that went to a website and found a plan that they're in love with, right? Let us price it out with our purchasing team, see if we're going to be a good fit budget wise, and help you understand the logistics associated with it. In addition to that, don't go out and buy and spend $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 to have somebody engineer a plan, because we cannot use engineered plans. We actually have to re-engineer them and do an Adair plan. So don't spend that upfront money if you don't have to. Definitely talk to us first so we can walk you down and guide you through the path so you're not spending unnecessary money that you don't need to. Katie, back to you.
Back to you. That's a perfect segue. And I was kind of debating on whether to talk about this or not, because Joe and I do have a custom home open house coming soon where we're going to talk a lot about the paths to customization, but sneak peek. So previously you have basically 3 paths when you're designing a home with Adair. You can take our pre-engineered plan online, add maybe some different countertops, some different flooring, and run with it. You could take one of our pre-engineered plans and maybe move some walls, add some square footage and go with it. Or you could go full custom, like Joe was just talking about, where you find a plan, totally different plan you like, or you draw yourself, and then we move forward with that one. And now, as of, just a week ago, maybe, we added a 4th option, which is that we are going to be compiling a vault of custom plans that we have built previously. And those are now going to be available to you. So you could call into Joe and say, hey, I need a 1,500 square foot 2-bedroom house, ranch style. I'm not seeing what I like. And he could say, here's some others that you might not have seen yet that we have built previously. So we'll dig into that, but it's a really exciting addition and really opens up a lot more options to just make sure that we are fitting the perfect house to your needs. So exciting development. But back to the Arcadia West. I do love this plan. I got so sidetracked there. So what you're seeing here, the standard.
We build quite a few of these too. I mean, because they're a great budget, price per square foot.
Mm-hmm.
They're a great amount of space, whether it's your first home and you've got kids. We've had a lot of people that have built this as like a retirement home as well. So because you have, like, if somebody needs to take care of you or something like that, they get that bedroom in the front. So you still have your privacy in the back. We've added like an additional bathroom right off bed 4 there, just above it, kind of where that closet is, where there's an additional door.
Oh, yeah.
To where you can do a dual master suite in this plan. So there's some pretty neat things that can be done here. And that's probably what I'm most proud of when it comes to Adair and how we can actually do all those structural components and modifications. So
agree.
Let's check this Arcadia out. I'm just so excited to see what you got.
One thing I like about the house that we're showing today is that there's no custom options. They ran with it. They're like, hey, this plan works for us as designed. Let's do it. So you get to see how this plan was designed and how it was originally thought out. They did make a change. So they changed bedroom 4 to a den, and they added a vault. Other than that, they ran with it as drawn. So let's get right into this video. The video rolls fast, so I will pause occasionally just to make sure we're all up to speed. I didn't say this, but they did the signature elevation, and signature typically, so signature versus traditions versus classic kind of varies a tiny bit from plan to plan, but usually it means you have this added dental rail here instead of a smooth belly band. You've got multiple types of siding rather than just lap siding all the way around. It's going to mean you have these fancier column wraps or more ornate or detailed column wraps. And then your front door and your garage door as a standard will have windows in them. But of course, these things can be changed if you don't like how the package is originally designed. You can swap in and out garage doors, in and out siding, lots of modifications to be made to make it fit what you're looking for.
And Katie, just to touch on that real quick. So you'll see the collar at the bottom of the column right there. That's just because the customer hasn't done like their flat work out front. So typically the collar will go back to the bottom of the column. We just are waiting for the grade, obviously, and what that's going to look like. Some of the other things, I'd really like to point out is the quality and craftsmanship of the materials, right? So we're using all James Hardie concrete composite siding, both on the lap siding and the batten board there. We've got the corbels that are in the gables, which I absolutely love. I realize that they painted that, which looks great, but I love when customers leave those and actually stain them because they're actual cedar. And it really just adds an additional layer and dimension to the home. So, it's just a great start there, Katie. So I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, so what you're seeing here, Joe already mentioned the James Hardie siding. You're also seeing a 50-year architectural shingle, a heat pump. These are all parts of our standard. We've got Sherwin-Williams paint on the exterior here, all standard, all already accounted for in the base price. Let's play the movie. All right. So coming in, this always just stops me in my tracks because this is a big common space from this front door looking in. This is a really large space, and this is a 1,480 square foot home. So we'll get back into this room, but I just think it's such an efficient use of space. Okay. So that bedroom kind of right up front. And I apologize. I had thought that they converted this to a den, but now I'm seeing there's a closet. So I'm sorry. I'm not sure what I was reading when I was reviewing this. So they left it bedroom 4.
Can we pause it right there, Katie, real quick?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Let's hit around that window there. I mean, so that's kind of our standard drywall wrap window. So real clean lines, really simple. I love the wall colors. They did a really good job.
They did.
The mushroom lights on the ceiling, those are standard. We can do rough-ins for ceiling fans. We also do recessed cam lights. There's a lot of different options that we can do as far as from lighting features. I had one client that wanted, instead of like the standard 6-inch recessed cam lights size, they wanted 3 inches, just kind of smaller ones.
Okay.
They did like reading right next to their bed. So they had like some that were kind of like spotlighted that were kind of neat. And they put a switch right over by the bed. So then they can literally just turn that off right before bed. And so I really think there's so many great things. We usually talk about outlets here, Katie. So obviously with that wall width, per code, it's going to require 2 outlets on that wall. So just depending on the size of the wall, whether it's between 6 or 8 or 10 feet, depending on jurisdiction, you will get an additional outlet typically per wall.
Also what you're seeing here, so this is a standard carpet. This is included in the base price. We've got standard 8-foot ceilings here. And then they did a slightly upgraded baseboard. This is what we call Craftsman. So it's just about 1 inch taller than our standard Colonial. They could have chose to do any number of things for their trim package. And they could have also chose to add trim to the window if that was a look they were going for. I personally really like this clean drywall wrapped window. I think it's perfect in this space. Okay. Looking into this great room. So we've got a Shaw floor in this room. They did a luxury vinyl plank throughout their common space. This kitchen, let's see, let's get a good view here. So they did do the vault option. So that whole common space, the great room, the kitchen, the dining room, that's all vaulted, but 8-foot standard at the edges. This what you're seeing. So this island is the standard size. This kitchen configuration is our standard kitchen configuration. Upgrades that they did do. So they went with a clear stained knotty alder. So they're going for kind of a rustic look here. They did a full height backsplash, whereas our standard is 2 rows of this subway tile. And then they also did this, I really think this is flashy, this black grout with the white tiles. And then they have a quartz countertop. So, so many options available to you depending on what you're looking for your countertops and your cabinets. I always talk a lot about cabinets. I'm going to try to refrain this time, but just know the sky's the limit for cabinets. They're all made to order. Even if you're looking at a plan and you see that it's designed with a 4-foot island, or, you know, the configuration as far as appliances, that's just a suggestion. You can change that. The sky's the limit. Our cabinet shop is phenomenal. So just know that as you're looking at plans and designing your dream kitchen or dream bathroom vanity or what have you.
So some of the ideas to throw out on cabinets that Katie's refraining from mentioning today. I love our soft close cabinet pack.
Mhm,
You know, it's a really nice, affordable upgrade, but it makes a lot of logical sense.
mhm.
You know, you get the wood boxes. So when you're sliding those clothes, they're nicely put together. They're wood versus a melamine product. And then you've got sky's the limit. So you notice on the left-hand side of the stove, they did drawers. I mean, on the
Standard.
other side, you could do drawers. You can put the sink inside the island. You can put the dishwasher in the island. However you want to utilize that space and whatever works best for you.
Mhm.
You know, we're able to accomplish that. In addition to that, we also have pull-out shelves, which a lot of customers are going to that just because it's easier, more convenient to grab stuff out of your cabinets. So I just love the ability. Plus, I mean, this is a standard appliance pack in
Mhm.
there.
Yeah,
So do you want to go over the appliances that come standard in our base price?
I do. So these are Whirlpool brand, stainless and black. So we've got a 30-inch range, a microwave hood, and a dishwasher. So the only thing that the customer is responsible for providing here is the refrigerator. However, we do, as a standard, we're going to do that plumbed line for your ice maker or your water. Um, what I like to note about appliances is that you could choose, you could say, hey, I've got a 36-inch or a 48-inch range that I want to bring in and use here. And we'll say, perfect, let's design the cabinets accordingly. You can do whatever you want for appliances. We have a couple of upgrades available, and then you could absolutely just pick and choose and provide your own appliances. All right, so when we're going to do a solid surface countertop like this quartz, we're going to automatically convert your sinks to an undermount. So they've got just here, they did a single bowl. It's a really deep undermount sink. They did slightly upgrade their faucet. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a motion sense. But as a standard, we are going to do a brushed nickel Moen. Keep this playing. It's been really popular lately just with this sliding glass door over here. I've been doing a lot of the multi-slides. I know you have too. So like the big 12 or 15-foot sliding glass doors with multi-slides. These guys have a phenomenal view, and this plan naturally is maximizing window space on this wall. But it's just nice to know, if you're working with a plan where you want to maybe move that sliding glass door to a sidewall and just take up that whole wall with windows, you absolutely can do it.
And just remember too, as you're kind of thinking about maybe the piece of property that you have or the piece of property that you're looking to purchase, we do a complimentary site inspection where we'll go out to the site, walk the site, talk about home placement, and drop a site plan so we can start gathering bids and helping and supporting you through that bid process as far as for site work. One of the reason why I mentioned that, Katie, is obviously this house we could have turned at an angle, and we do that quite a bit where we would change the driveway angle to be able to kind of be a wraparound, or we can change the garage door opening to like on the side of the house. It all just depends on what you are trying to capture.
Mhm,
Make sure you get the house, number one, structure the way you want it, and
mhm,
number two, laid out on the property to be able to maximize the views. I've had people even put the house backwards on the property in
uh-huh,
order to capture the views all in the back
yes,
of the house.
yeah,
Or one of the most recent ones, we haven't done a video on this yet, Katie, but pretty neat. We did for a customer the Gallatin floor plan, and we swapped because their living space is upstairs now, whereas it was downstairs before, and it gives them the ability to take advantage of the river view. They're right off the river. And it was a very, very affordable cost to be able to swap those. I mean, it
Mhm.
was so minimal. It was like so worth it. But being able to flop those, because a lot of people that are finding property, they're like, oh man, I have views from the second story and I want to be able to entertain on the second story.
Yep.
Perfect. So a lot of our plans are interchangeable to do that and flop the living space to where you can get that upstairs, maximize the windows, and all that good stuff. So something to keep in mind as you're looking at your piece of property that you're interested in.
Definitely. I love that. Also, since we're paused here, almost as much as I love cabinets, I love lighting. And you can see these are the standard lights in this kitchen. So we've got lots of good light in here. This light over the sink is on its own switch, which is nice. They could have, if they felt like they wanted more, they could have done pendants, they could have added sconces, they could have done under cabinet lighting. But you can see as a standard, it's a very well lit room. One thing, so when we're planning these virtual open houses, we like to get the camera crew in there as close to closing as possible. So as close to everything being done as possible, but not at a point where it's going to inhibit move-in or slow down move-in. So in this case, they were still installing a freestanding wood burning stove, which I would have loved to have gotten photos and videos of, but the timing just didn't work out. So imagine, as when we go back to that great room, imagine it with a wood stove. Okay, this is that. Sorry about that. This is that mudroom, utility room pass through. So we're gonna do obviously the plumb plug and vent for that washer dryer over here. They opted to keep the standard shelf that comes with it. There's plenty of space in this utility room for a cabinet package, had that been their preference. And then they did a freestanding utility sink over here. So just a really deep utility sink. Again, lots of options. They could have done a rough in, and I've been doing a lot of rough ins for pet washing stations has been kind of the trend here lately. They could have also done a cabinet with a drop-in sink. So we've got lots of options here. This is what worked best for their needs. All right, backing out.
And that's a great spot right there for that utility sink. You know, you come in from out in the garage, you got a perfect spot right there, washer and dryer on the other side. So super convenient. I think I really don't want to miss out on being able to share. Like, you see these brush nickel knobs, they're standard for the doors. I mean, like our standard pack and standard features, a lot of people are like, I love them. They're great.
Yeah.
Like, we use Moen faucets. I mean, we're using like top of the line materials that go into your home. So I really love that about Adair, is because like you don't have to upgrade stuff. We have a lot of great standard features, and that's why it's really important to go to a showroom, walk through the showroom with somebody like myself or Katie. We'd love to show you what we offer in our standard features, and then be able to say, okay, based off your budget, let's focus more on the structural components. Or, hey, yeah, you know what? Structure, I like the components. Maybe just add that vault, or maybe a 9-foot ceiling, or a couple additional windows. But by golly, like we have a lot of folks that build our standard plan, you know, as far as standard finishes, because they're so stinking nice. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a great structural home. You get a 10-year structural warranty, a 1-year bumper to bumper, as Katie says, which I love that. You know, on the house, on all, and then we have our own warranty department, folks. Like, we do all of our warranties out of our branches. We submit them to our warranty group. We get out there, we get things taken care of. You got a lifetime warranty on those gelled wood windows. I mean, it's just a good quality structural product.
Agreed. I left it paused here because if you can see out the window, they had to do a really big bank cut here to get this house on flat ground. And I think that's a beautiful example of what can be done. And jumping ahead a little bit, Joe had mentioned our site services team and going out and looking at properties with you. So when you're looking at properties, don't be intimidated by some slope or some trees, or it's not always easy for you to imagine what is possible because you don't do this every day. So the site services team will come out and say, you know, no problem. We've got this option, or this option, and they'll tell you, they'll explain the possibilities. So this is a big bank cut. Okay. So we've got, again, our Craftsman trim. Otherwise, we're full standard in here. And we're going to paint the inside of the house. And then I don't know if you noticed, we walked by one storage closet already. There's another. We try to maximize storage in these houses, and I have yet to ever hear anyone complain about too much storage. Okay, so we've got in here our standard tub shower combo. They did go for the matte black plumbing fixtures, which just look really sharp in here. I like it. They went with a standard brush nickel lighting package, and this has changed just a tiny bit since this house was built, but still same idea. They went with our standard 2 rows of subway tile, but they did a dark grout instead of the white or the matching cream grout. And then undermount sink again, because they did a solid surface in here. They've got that same cabinet package they did in the kitchen, so that naughty alder, I love that look with a clear finish. You could do a different cabinet in every room of the house if you choose.
We also do have painted cabinet options and different styles of cabinets, so keep that in mind. We've got clients that, we can literally paint our cabinets any color Sherwin-Williams offers. So we have a partnership with Sherwin-Williams, which is great. So it gives you some flexibility. I've had some people do perimeter cabinets all white, do like a blue island, and then wooded cabinets in the bathrooms, so there's tons of options. So just kind of like bring your wish list to us, you know what I mean? And really see what we can achieve and what options are available to you, so you really understand what that looks like.
Pause right here in this last guest bedroom before we get to the primary suite. So we've got our standard closet doors. So these are bypass doors. They're a 6-panel, just like all of the, the swinging doors. You could choose here if you wanted to do, say, barn doors or what have you. We could change the framing, eliminate the doors, and make it possible for you to just add your own barn doors, or if you wanted to do swinging doors. But this is standard, and this is really a great use of space, so it's not kind of intruding into the bedroom. There's other door options as well. So for example, if you wanted to change your swinging doors, you could make sure that all of your doors in the house match. And you'll see in every room, standard heating and cooling throughout this house included in the base price. And then into our primary suite, which not to sound like a broken record, but just 1,485 square feet, and every room looks like just big and comfortable. So I'm blown away at how efficiently space was used when they were designing this plan. So this is that walk-in closet in the primary suite. We've got shelf and pole all the way around, standard. You could absolutely delete that if you have dreams for your own custom closet organizer, or you could add some shelf and pole in there.
I think what's really nice about that walk-in closet there is it's really spacious. I mean, for a 1,485 square foot home, I mean, you've got a really good amount of space when it comes to your walk-in closet. In addition, I've had people do a second row of that shelf and pole, just a little bit lower, and that makes it to where you have a lot more room inside that closet there.
I'm going to pause right here. So as a standard, our spec has changed just a tiny bit since we built this one. So now we're going to do a vanity light over each sink instead of one just centered, which I do love the 2 light idea. Although this one provides a lot of lighting in this room. We're going to do a second sink in primary suites whenever possible. So whenever there's room for the vanity to house 2 sinks, we're going to provide it standard. And then otherwise, we've just got matching to that first bathroom and the kitchen. And let's pause right there. Okay, so standard in this bathroom would be a tub shower combo. Again, when there's room in larger bathrooms on some of our larger plans, we're going to do a walk-in shower and a drop-in tub in the base price. And then you could always take that shower and upgrade it like these guys did to a tile surround. I love how this looks. We use Imser tile. I love Imser tile. There's so many options. But then they could have done so many things here had they wanted to or needed to. So they could have done a splash wall if they didn't want to do a glass door. They could have added shower heads or rainfall shower heads, but as a standard upgrade to a tile, this is a beautiful option. I love how this turned out.
Great looking shower. I like too that we give the option now on the sinks, you can upgrade for $50 to rectangle sinks.
I know, yep,
And I love that option, right?
I do
So,
too.
so we
I
do have other options outside of the oval sinks. It is the rectangle sinks that are super nice as well. So
Agreed, agreed. A little more contemporary, maybe depending on the style you're after. Okay, I mean, these views, look at this. So that Sherwin-Williams paint, again, looks phenomenal. You can call out, so say you're somebody who wants just one color of paint all over, like absolutely sky's the limit there. Again, we just want it to fit the goal, what you're looking for, your visions is how we're going to build this. They added the covered patio option. So we've got just this nice kind of covered space back here. And then Joe, I think this is a perfect time to talk about site prep.
yeah, so site prep is one of those things that there's a lot of potential unknowns to, right? So there's again, like Katie had mentioned, there's 3 costs when you build, right? You got your land costs, your site development costs, and then your home costs. So land, obviously, hey, it's X amount of dollars. So let's just use 100,000 for example. And then as far as your home, well, obviously you see the base price online. And then obviously we can build out options for you. So if you come to Katie or myself and say, hey, show me the Taj Mahal, what can you do? I want to see every decked out option that you guys possibly have. And then we always just work backwards. So if that kind of is hitting towards your budget line, we want to be respectful of your budget and help you obviously be able to gain the equity position, because obviously you have purchased your property and we want to build your dream home out on that property for you. So in addition to that, the site development. So obviously the things that are encompassed in that would be permits, excavation, utility trenching, any steps, decks, driveways. So you'll see these folks did kind of a 3/4 minus driveway, which that's pretty normal for folks that have, let's say, 5 acres, or maybe there's not an HOA and it's okay to have, a rough driveway and later they decide to asphalt it. I mean, you can kind of really pick and choose. You can do concrete out front, you can do a Trex deck, whatever kind of you desire. Now, you may be thinking while you're sitting here watching this video, I'm a phenomenal deck builder, and maybe you are. Build your own deck. Adair allows you to. So Adair's responsibility is the foundation and finish of the home. If you, Katie, I know you own an excavator, decided to go ahead and excavate your property, that is entirely up to you. You can excavate it. The one thing you cannot do is touch anything on the foundation to finish of the home. That is Adair's scope of work. So, hey, your family friend, they know how to excavate. Maybe an electrician. Sure, they can run all your temp wires and all that good stuff, get your temp power pole all set for you. So work with your branch team. And when I say that is we are a team, because we have folks such as myself and Katie that are home ownership counselors helping you build your dream. We've got our pre-construction managers that help with the permittal process and help you through all aspects of getting the site ready so that it's prepared for Adair to build your dream home. And number 3, you've got the superintendents in the branch. And some of our branches, Katie, I know my branch specifically, my superintendents combined experience is over 65 years between all 3 supers. So, and if you look at a lot of our branches, we have a lot of that through Adair, and we hold our trades accountable to the high standards that we have with the construction and the craftsmanship that we offer in our homes. So there's also additional site development costs of the well, the septic if needed, all of those kinds of things. But let us work with you. If you haven't purchased property yet, talk to us. We have real estate partners that are specializing in land. They know land in and out. We can get our superintendent out there with that realtor, walk the property, discuss the home placement, how you want it to sit, draw up a site plan. Heck, half the time I bring an excavator out to the site visit just so they can give you some rough numbers on costs. And then they kind of narrow it down like, hey, okay, now that we know where the house is going to sit, now that we know what kind of power needs to be ran, Now we know you need this kind of septic, this well, whatever it may be, we give you that total cost package up front. And one of my favorite parts is our financing company does a phenomenal job of including a 5% contingency. Now that's great because obviously we don't want you to go over budget. And obviously nobody can predict the exact situation of your lot. This could have been sitting on a rock pile and no excavator in the whole entire world would have known that, right? So once they start digging, a lot of things get uncovered, right? So with that 5% contingency, that's just for any overruns associated with the construction. And that's just so smart to have that added. And I'm glad our financing company does that because we do want to help you complete your home and build your dream home and be within budget. There's some customers that never use the 5%. And there's some customers that use 2% or the whole 5%, depending on what they're needing to complete and finish. So just absolutely number one, meet with a homeownership counselor like Katie or myself. We'd love to serve you, walk you through the process. If we're a good fit, great. Let's make this happen, right? If you feel like at the end of an appointment or at the end of meeting us that, hey, it's a little bit out of our budget or a little bit, no, let's talk about it. I mean, and if we're not a good fit, we're going to shake your hand and thank you for coming in. You may have a friend or family that might benefit building an Adair home. You may know somebody that owns land that maybe needs help. And maybe they've got some bids from custom home builders and the pricing is coming back so high that they're like, gosh, I need an option. Look us up for sure. What else do you got, Katie? I apologize. I took too much of your time there.
That was perfect. I think you touched on everything that I wanted to cover. The only thing I would just want to circle back to a tiny bit is we talked a lot about if you want to do your own site prep, you're welcome to. And we are a resource to you if you go that route. So if you're like, hey, I want to do it, but yeah, I want someone holding my hand. I want to know that I'm on track. We've got a guy. But also say you're somebody who's like, I want nothing to do with my site prep. We have a plan for that as well too. So it's really over the years, what I love about Adair is that they keep modifying their program to fit what people are asking for and what they're seeing. By popular demand, we are continuing to grow and evolve to make sure that we've got a path for everybody. So, and then one final note. So a lot of times, people are like, why Adair? Why should I choose Adair? And I always love to say it's what's in the walls. I think that is really important and often overlooked. And so on this particular house, we did what was called a dusty shoe or a dusty boot. Just meaning we went in and we hosted a very similar open house to this when it was just exposed studs. So framing was done, the house was dried in, but there was no drywall hung yet. So if you're interested, if you want to know what's inside the walls of this beautiful house, let me know. We've got a video for that I can send to you. All right, Joe, I think until next time, I mean, Joe and I have gotten really into hosting virtual open houses. So we have a whole slew of them lined up and ready to go. So you'll be seeing more of us.
Yep. And please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, go to the Adair Homes website, click on the little chat button in the corner. You've also got myself and Katie. I'm Joe Zampko, and so I'm out of the Central Oregon branch and down in Medford and Klamath now. So we're opening up more areas as we see fit to help and serve customers. So you can call me on my cell phone anytime. My number is 541-977-0428. And I'd be happy to serve you and walk you through the process.
And then I'm in the Creswell branch. So I'm Lane County, Benton County, Douglas County, and then over at the coast, Florence, all the way down to Bandon. So we're happy to help you. And then we're also, as you know, in Washington, Idaho, and Arizona. And we are not the only two amazing homeownership counselors here. We just actually all got together. So I can vouch personally for the homeownership counselors at Adair. They are all wonderful and knowledgeable. So reach out. We are happy to give you some guidance.
Well, thank you everyone truly for taking the time to watch our video today. We are going to be back to you soon, live in the next couple of days, I'm sure. We hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season, and we will be doing a Facebook Live coming up, which is going to be great. On that Facebook Live, we're going to be walking through a custom home and literally being able to, it's actually live, like real live, on Facebook. And so we're super stoked for that. So anyhow, thank you again, Katie. You're a wonderful host. I appreciated doing this with you today, and we'll talk
Anytime.
soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.